How's it going, everybody? All my fellas, how you doing? Just want to pop out another video. Just birth it into the world. Just completely grace you with another one of my masterpieces. But for real though, it's 11 p.m. I just decided to whip out my phone and start talking to it. So a lot of things went through my mind today. Mainly the perception of yourself and how that relates to the money that you make. Now, a lot of people seem to have this problem where they look at their bank accounts for, emotional reassurance to tell themselves, I'm not that bad. I'm not, you know, I'm not a terrible person because I have all this money. And unfortunately, the opposite is true. A lot of people go to their bank accounts to feel terrible about themselves, to go, oh my goodness, I have no money. I'm worthless to everybody. And no one will outright admit that they think they're worthless without having money in their accounts, but the subconscious is a tricky thing. It's out of the sight, out of the mind. Well, not out of the mind. It's very deep in the mind, and having those beliefs about yourself without really fully exploring them can be detrimental. It can basically rule your life, and you'll call it fate. I forget who said that, but yeah. You got to make the unconscious conscious. So, we're going to dive into the insecurities around money and how it can affect your outlook and your behavior in the real world. So, having $0 in your bank account should not make you feel terrible. Money is essentially your society points, right? It's how much society thinks you're worth, or how much they owe you, basically. Money is basically an IOU. You put your time in somewhere, you put your effort, your energy, your focus in somewhere, and if you do it the right way, the world will reward you with money. And, if the economy collapses, that money's worthless to you. It's just green paper. It's just numbers on the screen on your banking app. But what it basically is an IOU. So when you're looking at your money, you're basically looking at the value you already gave to the system, and basically the promise from them that they're going to compensate you for that. And people can get the impression that, oh, if I have no money, then I have no worth to the system, or I have no worth to anybody. And that's just completely false. It's a sad and ugly thought that a lot of people have without even realizing it. So, going into it, you're not worthless because you have $0 in your bank account. You have what is called potential to work. You have what is called a healthy body, if you're lucky. I don't want to presume anything, but you have a healthy body. You have a working mind. You have this present moment. And, even if you see a zero on an app, or you see nothing in your wallet, you still have things. You still have a roof over your head, I'd presume, because you're watching a YouTube video with internet and all that stuff. I'd assume you'd worry about the roof over your head first. If you're lucky, you have food in your belly. You have more than you think, quite frankly. Society can give you a net worth, which is basically all the money you have and everything you own combined into one, monetary sum. And the sad thing is, it really just, it weighs you down mostly. I mean, it gives you all this heavy energy. I own this car that I do do these YouTube videos in, and it's really convenient, but it's also a ton of headaches. I mean, it's a mess. I had to get it inspected and then serviced, and then, oh, this service is $600, and oh, now I gotta fill up the air, which is another stop on the way home. You get the idea. And my dad always told me, oh, well, wait till you have a house, then you'll really be in for it. Your possessions really do end up possessing you. And we're so conditioned to think that, 0 is the loser number, right? You're nothing. 0 is basically the representation of nothing. But when you really get down to it, if you want to ask mathematicians, 0 and infinity are the same thing. Because with infinity, there's no real quantifiable number. It's just sort of all the numbers that can be, meaning its potential. It's not a real number. Like, infinity isn't even a number. And then you look at the number like 0, and it's more like a symbol that represents a void, which also has the potential to be occupied with something, to be filled with something. So it also represents potential. Now, having everything in the world but also having nothing, they're basically the same thing. Like, when you talk about owning something in the societal sense, it basically means, oh, I can take it with me and have it on my person without anyone having a big fuss about it. But that's a construct made by people. So if you were the last person on Earth, do you technically own everything? Even if you had technically owned everything, you'd be pretty upset because there's no one else to really share it with. And yeah, you basically, yeah. Went a little off there. No big deal. You can't expect to be perfect at all times. That's just the end all be all. Some people in this world have negative money, and if you're a debt-free person, you should be very happy. And if you have any worries about money, you should, take a step outside and really come to realize how much stuff you actually have. Put the phone down once this video ends, of course, after you leave a like, of course. Put the video down, go outside, no distractions. What do you really have? Without, ask yourself that. Give yourself no outside stimulus, no other YouTube video, no nothing. Really take a deep look at your situation and ask, what do I have? And then get back to that problem of your money, and then see where you go from there. Well, all that stuff came out of my mouth. I hope you enjoyed. Take from it what you will, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.